Hey, what's good? Yo. Welcome back to another episode of After Work with Doozy. Bruv, I was literally filming like another topic I had, but I just hit a rut and I'm just like, let me slow down on it a little bit. Anyways, this is the next episode. Just a note. Number one, I'm still working on my camera angles, so I'll keep you guys posted. Number two, this is my last episode unscripted. That was a perfect example of why. Because literally, when it's not scripted, I do believe I also get pretty confusing in the way I'm trying to explain things. So let's see how it goes. Next episode will be scripted, but let's see how we do. Right. So what are we talking about today? So I recently watched a few episodes of a psychology, not a psychology, a philosophy lecture from Harvard. Like they have like this 8 course series. It's like an hour each, and it's like justice for freedom. Yeah, it's like philosophy for justice. That's what it was called. Yes, on YouTube. Check it out. It was very fascinating because there's so many good questions on ethics and choices, etc., etc. Right. Well, I want to start on the episode one, which they spoke about. I forgot the episode, but it was related to the freedom of choice and essentially what makes your choice worth making, right? So, the age old example, you're in a train. The train is going straight towards 5 men on the train track. If you swerve the train, then it will go and it will just kill one guy. Which do you choose? Do you let fate just let the train keep going and run over 5 men, or do you switch it up and then it only kills one man? Okay, I would love to know people's answers to this and their whys. I'm obviously going to share mine as well, but curious to see what people's logic is because I've heard some different thoughts and I think it's been really cool to talk about. So, for my side, I'm I hate it, but I am swerving. Why? Okay, so just to conclude, I'm going to be swerving my thing so that I kill one person instead of 5. I feel like that's the normal humane answer, but it's only because of my logic. Like someone else's logic can justify the other one as well, and I'll go through that if I can, if I understand it fully. But essentially, why? Because killing one is better than killing 5. You know what I mean? Like, I think that's just an obvious one. I feel like a lot of people would work off that same assumption as well, but I've spoken to people whose answer was, let it ride over the 5. And I asked them why. And they say, because it's not my fault. That's what they say, right? Like, yeah, I'm in the train, but all I did was nothing and 5 people died. You know what I mean? I did not intentionally murder people. They were on their route to death and I didn't do anything to change that. And that's pretty humane as well, right? Because we also got to deepen as well. The guts to actually turn this thing into another life is pretty hectic as well. You know what I mean? Because you're actively choosing murder, whereas at least if you don't do anything, you're like passively choosing murder, right? So that's a really interesting debate to see like which one is a better action to do. But I mean, what constitutes is better, we don't know. But I think it was just interesting to see different people's logic, right? And I thought that was pretty fun. I'd love to know people's thoughts on that. But then they added a twist to that, right? They said, right, same example. However, the one that's gonna die has now been diagnosed. No, sorry. The one that's gonna die has the cure for cancer. Wow, I love that little twist. Why? Because that changes my answer tremendously, right? Because I went from wanting to go kill that guy to now my answer would be to let the 5 die. Why again? Why 5? The logic is still the same because it's better to kill a few than to kill many, right? By killing the one guy, we're killing our only chance at curing cancer. Hypothetically speaking, our only chance of curing cancer. So we can't kill that guy. So I gotta kill 5. But murder, you know what I mean? Like, it's so fun to see how little twists like that could just change everyone's perception. Now I'd love to know what other people think of this, you know what I mean? I haven't heard someone say that they would go and kill the nigga with the cancer cure. I haven't heard that, but who knows? Maybe that's why. And if someone does have that logic, I would love to understand why. Because in my head, I'm not going to say it's wrong, but I'm going to say, like, I can't understand why you'd find it better to murder the dude who has the goods. You know what I mean? So that was really, really fun, right? And then the next thing they went into in that lecture, it wasn't like the immediate next thing, but they went into the theory of utilitarianism. And that is what I spoke about I didn't speak about it, but I mentioned it in the previous podcast. Now you know where the previous episode. Now you know where it came from. And utilitarianism was essentially the concept of how do we define what's good and what is good is what will do the most, what will bring the most joy to the most amount of people, right? So we have a look at the same train example, and we say, exclude the cancer statement now, right? We have 5 people here, we have 1 person there, they are all just normal people. Who do we go for? Now, according to the theory of utilitarianism, it is best to swerve the train towards the one dude. Why? Because killing one is better than killing many, right? Always preserve the most joy for the most people, which would be the 5 people in this case, right? Now, we look at the same example with the cancer patient as well, right? Or not the cancer patient, the person with the cancer cure. And then we think about utilitarianism again. Again, now it makes sense to run over 5 people. Why? Because the dude who's going to cure cancer, again, that's the most joy for the most amount of people. Think about how many families are going to be happy that their family member is cured from cancer versus the sadness of 5 families that have lost a family member. Hectic stuff, but you know what I mean? Like, you can think about the consequences like that, and I think it's pretty cool, right? However, there was not a loop to this, but like unfortunately this theory has a bit of a flaw. Why? Then they took it. I love the way they structured this thing, because it's so, you know, it's as if they teach you something and they're like, yo, but it's not always like that, big dog. And it's like, oh, plot twist on plot twist, right? So utilitarianism, it sounds great. The most good for the most amount of people. That sounds perfect. Where's the problem? The problem is good. What is a valid amount of good or joy for the most people, right? And this is when they brought the example of the Roman, like in the Roman times or something like that. What they would do is they would find a slave, hook him onto like a lion or something, and let the lion just have fun with him. Just chow him, drag him, throw him, whatever. And now this, I think we can all agree, that's a pretty fucked up thing to do. But according to the theory of utilitarianism, we want to bring the most joy to the most amount of people. Now, let's think about this, right? Should we tie this person to a lion and let them be dragged and killed and murdered and everything, right? Most might say no. But then we say, why? Because it's not a nice thing to do to someone. Yeah, fair enough. But if we think about utilitarianism, this is one person dying and feeling terrible, but thousands of people, because this would be in an arena or a stadium or something, or anyone who gets to see. Everyone is brought joy. This brought people joy. This was a form of entertainment. So a lot more people are a lot happier than one person who's in pain. So clearly we should just drag this guy out and let him get chowed, right? But that's not it. You know what I mean? That's where the conflict comes, because it's like, well, the theory says it's valid, it's perfectly fine, but we know deep down we shouldn't be tying people to lions and letting them get chowed. You do what I'm saying? So it was so fascinating just to hear how it's like, they bring something to you and then they throw it down, and it's like, what is the best way to think then? How do we create a set of rules that we can just completely say this is good, full stop, rule off, you know what I mean? And yeah, man, that was a nice little whirlwind for me, and I wanted to share that with y'all. I hope that brought some thought to you guys as well. I found these pretty fun. I hope you guys did too. And yeah, man, that literally brings us to the end of After Work with Doozy. Yes, sir. Thank you so much for your time. Thank you so much for, honestly, if you made it this far in the video, shout out, bro. Shout out. Thank you so much, man. Yeah, really appreciate all the love, supports, comments, and everything, man. Like, I really appreciate it. Yeah. Thank you so much. Peace.